This is Sony's most expensive and biggest party speaker ever, the Sony ULT TOWER 10. And this is Soundcore's latest party speaker, the RAVE 3S. Now you might be scratching your head like, how can you even compare these two? One is a gigantic, super heavy, over $1,000 speaker, and this one is portable and a quarter of the price. Well, the truth is, Soundcore proposed that I do this comparison, and they wanted me to compare it to the Sony ULT TOWER 10, so here it is. Now to get started, first of all, moving both of these into the studio, you can just tell which one I preferred, okay? There's a handle in the back. It makes lifting this super easy. It's not light, it has weight to it, but it's a lot easier than the ULT TOWER 10. So if you are someone who's moving around a lot at something that you're going to be doing, the Soundcore RAVE 3S is probably the way to go. But that's just like a hat tip to portability. What about the sound? At the end of the day, that's what really matters, right? The Soundcore RAVE 3S features very realistic 200-watt sound with very little distortion. It can essentially fill an entire 1,000 square foot area, whether it's inside or outdoors, and still provide immersive experience. You can use it in the upright position, or you can use these rubber feet on the side to place this horizontally. When you place a speaker horizontally on the rubber feet, it's going to trigger automatically spatial audio mode, and that increases the soundscape as well as provides a more immersive music experience when you're trying to fill a room. So it's perfect underneath a TV when you're trying to use it as like a sound bar, but it's way more powerful than a regular sound bar. The Sony ULT TOWER 10 is powered by 1,000 watts of sound. Just as clear, but way more powerful. Essentially, it would take 4 of the RAVE 3S's to make the same sound output as the Sony ULT TOWER 10. But then you have another feature, the bass boost. You see, both devices have these bass boost options that can increase the low end frequency. So when you press the Alt button on the Sony or the bass boost button on the RAVE 3S, there is a noticeable change in the sound quality. The bass gets boosted, you start feeling things shake, and there is some proper bass in this small package. This is a demonstration of the bass boost option in spatial audio mode. So it's in horizontal, the spatial audio is automatically turned on, and I'm gonna play a song without the bass boost on. So right now bass boost is off, and this is just normal crispy clear sound. So as you can see, nothing really happens to the toilet paper. I'm gonna go ahead and turn bass boost on now. And now let's play the same song at the same volume. So obviously the bass knocked down some of the tissue. This tissue is actually taped, but that's exactly what bass boost does. It increases the low end frequency so that you get a lot more bass. But let's move to features, and I want to start with the RAVE 3S because this is where it really shines. First of all, it has karaoke, but way better, unlike you've ever seen before. They're essentially using AI that I've never seen before. This big blue button is labeled AI vocal removal. Okay, so right now I have the Soundcore RAVE 3S, and I've got a playlist on my phone set up, and I've got the mic on. So one of the mics is on, and so this is actually running, okay? So that's all live. What I want to demonstrate is the AI vocal removal feature, the big blue button that's on the top of the actual speaker, but you can also control the AI vocal removal on the microphones themselves. So I'm going to turn the music on. You're going to hear vocals coming from the speaker. Then I'm going to click this button, and it's going to activate the AI vocal removal on the speaker as well and drown out all of the vocals, so you only hear the background, and obviously that means you can sing over the vocals themselves. So here it goes. Now I'm going to turn on the vocal removal, and all you hear now is the background music. I'm going to turn it up a little. And now what I can do is lower the AI vocal removal power. So it works pretty well. You have 4 levels here, 4 lights all the way on. And by the way, the AI vocal removal also lights up on the speaker. But with 4 lights on, it's total removal of vocals. And then you can lower it on the mic, so you can have some vocals playing from the speaker, and you can add your own on top. So there's a lot of that customization, and this customization is available on both of the microphones. So you do have that available. The sound quality from the microphones is super clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on vocal removal. So now it's just a background, and I'm gonna go ahead and speak on top of this, and it's pretty clear sound. Like, you can hear me right now. It is very clear, and it has pretty good distance as well. Like, I can move pretty far back and still not get any kind of interruption in the recording or in my voice. So it works pretty well. I like it. The mic also has a built-in pop filter, so you know, any kind of pops or loud disruptions are actually taken out of your voice when it's transmitted. As far as the top control panel is concerned, you have your main volume up and volume down here. You have your reverb, so you can actually increase the reverb, and there's a LED display here. Then you have the AI vocal removal button, which you also have on the microphones. I can turn that on or off from here. As far as the top panel is concerned, on the Sony ULT TOWER 10, first of all, you have your key control here. So this is going to be a little bit more advanced than the stuff that you have on the RAVE 3S, because this is, again, for more professionals. You're working in a professional setting and you want exact control of the sound. Now, one thing I don't like is this touch screen here. The RAVE 3S has all buttons, so everything is like a physical rubber button with a lot of tactile feedback. This is all touchscreen. So aside from the alt button and the power button, everything is touchscreen, and it's not the best touchscreen, unfortunately. So, you know, you might have to click a few times. Here you have play, pause, and then obviously volume up and volume down. Now, the alt button, this is basically equivalent to the bass boost button on the RAVE 3S. So if I press this, it has that little, you know, thing, and that, well, it's off now and it's on now. So this is, again, bass boost. It turns it on and you get a little bit more low end from your sound. Now, this top panel is water resistant, so they made just this top panel the touchscreen, and there's this rubber area here which has a few more little functions in here. You have the guitar input or the guitar control. You can increase and decrease the mins and max for the guitar, and you have the input here. So this area is obviously rubber sealed because this top part is supposed to be water resistant. However, the rest of the speaker, so you know, all the grills and the drivers in there, are not water resistant. So if money is no object and sound is the only important thing in your life, and you are never going to move your speaker around, there's no question, the ULT 10 is the way to go. Or if you're a professional DJ and you charge like $400 per event, then you probably want to show up with the ULT 10. I said 400 because honestly, that's what it would cost to make me lift this thing, get it in a van, take it out, and do it all over again. It is heavy, but we expected that. It's also 4 times more expensive. It's also 4 times bigger. So you might be thinking, why did we decide to make this comparison? Because the Soundcore RAVE 3S has some neat little tricks up its sleeve. And before we get into them, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. It really helps grow a channel like The Chilled Fossil. So first of all, let's talk about build quality really quickly, and this might be really obvious. Soundcore wins. Not only does it have IPX4 water resistance, but the build of it is solid. Aluminum speaker grills to protect the drivers. The rest is a super rugged plastic that is lined with rubber that can absorb shock and deliver it to when the bass is turned on. Not only that, the buttons on the top are finished in soft rubber, and there's a hatch in the back with a lot more ports for connectivity options that is also rubber sealed to protect from water damage. Plus, there are actually built-in handles for mics that we're going to talk about later. The ULT 10 is built not to be moved around a lot. There are plastic wheels to help carry this thing to your DJing events and outdoor weddings, but it isn't really built to be outside. It's not waterproof, except for the top control panel, and that's it. Everything else can potentially be damaged if you expose it to water. And the plastic is markedly cheaper on the Sony ULT 10, like way cheaper. I'm talking super thin plastic on the Sony ULT 10 versus or relative to the Soundcore. Now, the plastic isn't bad quality. It's not like that plastic that'll bend, but it is much thinner. Like, it just feels so much cheaper when you compare it to the super rugged plastic that the RAVE 3S is built with. But along with build, there is one more thing Soundcore is doing: lights. It's a proper light show. The RAVE 3S can sync up with the sound and can be further customized through the phone app to create the exact ambience that you're looking for in your party. So this is the app for Soundcore. You simply download the Soundcore app, add the device, and it gives you all of the available features that you have. Now, this 3D one, first of all, it shows you different angles of the speaker itself, and you can control the volume directly from the app. You can also play and pause. You have AI features that you can enable, like the AI vocal removal, and you have karaoke features, but you want to be able to first have the microphone connected for that to actually work. You can also activate bass up. You can also activate spatial audio, which I have always kept activated. And then there's the equalizer, which I don't really mess with. I leave this in the presets. I mean, they know what they're doing pretty well, so I'm not going to mess with that. But what I wanted to show you was this light. So this is where I can actually control the light. I can control the brightness of the lights themselves. As you can see, lower it or maximum light just like that. And then you can choose what you want. You can have a flame. These are like the preset modes that they have. You can have rainbow set up just like that. Or you can create your own custom effect. So if I go ahead and do that and name it Nom, here we go. Now I can do top light, bottom to top to bottom, or bottom to top, or from the center out, or just have it on from the center. I like that actually. That looks pretty cool. And then this is for the bottom light, so I'm gonna have the same kind of effect. Ooh, okay, that's pretty cool. It actually shows me what the colors are looking like, and I can do this to see it in different angles. Obviously, it's playing on my speaker as well. So that's the app, a few different features here. Obviously, I can also turn on bass up, and when I turn on bass up here, it also turns on the speaker as well, so you can see the light up there, and I can turn it off on the speaker and it turns it off on the phone. So everything is connected, and there's a lot of control that you have over the speaker directly from your phone. Now, the Sony ULT 10 Tower also has an app, but it's a lot more simpler because it's, first of all, we're not working too much with lights. That app is a lot more for professionals who are going to be using the equalizer feature in order to right here, in order to, you know, really fine tune exactly what the sound looks or sounds like when you're at events, when you're at parties, depending on, you know, your DJing event or any of that. So that app is really there to fine tune those advanced details. This app is really a lot more fun. You know, you're still getting a lot of the equalizing and advanced features if you want them, but it's really fine-tuned to have fun, to be able to connect more easily to the speaker and use those features like AI vocal removal, bass up, and obviously configure the light setups. The ULT 10 has its own light show as well that goes all the way around the speaker. So it's a 360 light show on the ground and from the top. Which one do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. Oh, and the mics, the package actually comes with two. Both of them are completely wireless, and I mean the Sony also has a mic as well, but as far as storage is concerned, the Soundcore has this like built-in rubber grip that helps store and keep these safe while you know, travel around, take this to parties. For the ULT Tower 10, carrying the mic almost seems like an afterthought. So yeah. Moving back to the speaker, the RAVE 3S has power for around 12 hours. That is the total play time from one full charge, and it does last quite well. Charging up is also super easy with a included single USB-C input that's available in the back. And for connections, usually I have it connected to my Google TV using Bluetooth, and it provides a really nice ambient noise for me while I study or I'm working. Okay, so that's the Soundcore RAVE 3S. What about the Sony ULT TOWER 10? Well, first, it also has karaoke function, obviously, but there's no big blue AI vocal removal button like it's on the RAVE 3S. It's just a lot more traditional of a karaoke setup, just one included mic and this little hanger to stick it on. But the fun remains for almost 25 hours off a single charge on the Sony ULT TOWER 10. Plus, I can also connect it to various different instruments or to my TV via the display port. And there's nothing quite like the home theater experience this massive set can deliver, but it can also get you evicted with the level of noise it can produce. Honestly, if you live in an apartment building and you even go halfway, like to 50%, a few apartments are going to be shaking. So let's talk about the speakers. Who are they really for? First, if you're a college or university student, or if you're someone who's going to parties at different friends' homes, or you host parties in your own dorm or apartment or townhouse, or if you want a portable speaker set up to play ambient music while you study or do work around the house, the RAVE 3S is the best possible speaker you can buy. And with the added features like AI vocal removal and built-in professional microphones, bringing friends and family together is easier than ever. On the other hand, if you have a pretty large home, like you live in a mansion that's detached, so you're not connected to other houses, and you want the most immersive home theater experience possible, the ULT 10 is the best choice. Plus, if you're a professional DJ and you do events like weddings or outdoor events like graduation ceremonies, you want to look professional. Pulling up with one of these or maybe even two will make you look incredibly professional. But of course, it doesn't have the built-in AI features that the RAVE 3S has. But the ULT 10 is not really made for that. It's made for professionals, the doers who need to look professional and deliver an exciting time to a huge crowd. The RAVE 3S, it's perfect for small homes, for friends come together for smaller gatherings, for karaoke, super portable so you can easily take it around, even if you're taking public transit. Super immersive sound here is backed by 200 watts of power that can really bring any apartment to life without getting evicted. Although, if you turn it up really high, like 75–80%, you might be risking eviction. It gets really loud. So finally, comparing this to the ULT 10 is actually very easy because they're built for completely two different kinds of people and two different purposes. But comparing speakers like this to things like the JBL Party Box 120 is also super easy because even though they're priced similarly and both of them are their company's premier party speakers, the JBL does not have anywhere near the features that the Soundcore RAVE 3S puts out. It doesn't have the blue AI vocal removal button or the two built-in microphones. It also falls short on the watts with only 150 sound output versus the 200 you're getting out of the RAVE 3S. So that is the comparison between the Soundcore RAVE 3S and the Sony ULT 10. And although much of this result was expected, Soundcore's AI implementation has been done incredibly well, focusing on AI features that people would actually love using rather than just random gimmicks. Plus, they dedicated some serious time, energy, and material into the build quality of the speaker itself that makes the RAVE 3S a no-nonsense option. On the other hand, Sony did cheap out on the plastics just a little bit. It sounds so much cheaper, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really meant to be moved around a ton. It's meant to stay in a spot, not be moved around, and kind of liven up and brighten the entire space. But again, not a small space. We're talking a massive space, so either a massive house or a large crowd. Here, we're talking about bringing the whole family together, bringing a bunch of friends together, and having an amazing time doing it. So that's the review of these two speakers. Both of them I really enjoy. For me, the one I've been using a lot, and you can see there's a lot of dust on the top, it's the RAVE 3S, because again, it's super portable. I actually have it underneath my desk back there, so I kind of made that space in the corner. I leave it there, and I'm just playing like lo-fi music while I'm studying on my computer. It fits, it's out of the way, and it's super easy to control because all the controls are right here. The Sony ULT TOWER 10, I really don't have a space for this in my apartment. Like I just literally don't have space for it in my apartment. I gotta like find somewhere to kind of put this, and I don't even think I can use it because it would be way too loud for an apartment like mine. Versus this, I can really kind of push the limits and get even up to like 50%, and have a really enjoyable time. So again, two different speakers for two different kinds of people. A professional speaker for events, large parties. This is the speaker you want for you and your friends. Until next time, take it easy. Peace.